So we have created our key pair and we have private key into the key agent, and now it is time to set up and check out our first connection. So close this and let's just bring up regular PuTTY to set up connection. So it's right here, and this is what the configuration screen looks like. We will set up a session because there's a couple of steps we have to take, and then we save the session so that later down the road we don't have to retype all the information. So the first thing we definitely want to do, of course, is our connection to the particular host. So in our case, this is going to be our username. Right now that we created was Harry Potter, so it's Harry-Potter and sign, and then the name of the host, which is stu.cs.kisu.me. So that's the first step, and we could theoretically connect already right now. But there is one additional step we want to take, and that is, remember that the private key is supposed to stay in your possession at all times. If you are on a remote system, need access to another remote system, of course the ability to transfer your private key to that system to then use that to connect to the other system. In our case, it's going to be our Git server for version control. But that would defeat the purpose of having a tight grip on your private key. So there is a mechanism defined in the protocol called authentication agent forwarding, so that your local key agent can forward credentials to another remote system without actually having to forward a private key. And this happens here. So you can click on connection and open that, and then you see down here the auth section, and you can click on that, and then you'll see the options controlling SSH authentication, and the one check mark that we want to make is right here, allow agent forwarding. So with agent forwarding enabled, we can scroll back to the top and go back to the session here. So now everything is in order. We would just want to save the session, and I like to just use the short form of the host name. So stu is a good name for the session, and click save, and you have the session stored for future reference. So future references just means that you can just PuTTY load that session either by directly loading it and then hit open, or actually also just double click on it. But right now let's go ahead and do a connection, and now I click the open button. The system will attempt a connection to stu.cs.kisu.edu. It will transmit Harry Potter as the username. The remote system will see whether it has stored a public key belonging to your private key in a appropriate location, and if so, we'll compute that there is a match and we'll let you in without you having to type in the password. That is what should happen next. One thing that happens now, if you have never connected to a particular host before, those hosts also have public and private key pairs, and this host offers to you its public key for future reference, and you can store this locally, and you should store this locally. We call this key caching because for future connections, there is of course a possibility of something called a man-in-the-middle attack, where somebody could just interject themselves into the conversation between you and the remote system, and caching the public host key prevents that for future references. So on the first connect, of course, it does not protect you unless you have access to the host key, public host key via other means, which if you're paranoid, you can. But for the most part, it is good enough to connect via a somewhat trusted network first, cache the host key, and then even if you're subsequently on an untrusted network, you have the cached host key for reference to middle text. So let's do this, and I do want to cache the host key. I have to do this only once, so in the next time around, it will not ask me again. So I'll say yes, I want to cache the host key, and then you'll see that it actually authenticates with the private key, and system sees a match and lets me in. You may have noticed that it entered a passphrase or password. Remember that, of course, you still have to have a passphrase, but it's the passphrase to unlock your private key. And once it's in the key agent, you don't have to do this ever again. So I can close this session now by just typing out. And let's redo it to see that you'll see the effect of host key caching. So I'll go back here and open up PuTTY once more. Now you see the saved session down here. I can just double click on the STU session, and this time around, because the key has already been cached, you will see that the system logs me in again, this time without asking for host key caching, and I did not have to enter the password because the key is stored in the agent. The only time you have to really reload the key into the agent is when you log out or restart your computer and then log back in, because as of now, PuTTY really does not have a way to automatically load and unlock the key for you. So every time you log into your computer in a new desktop session, you will have to reload your private key, which again, however, is as simple as just double clicking on it and unlocking it, and that's it.